Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Here in Kansas City, it's gloomy and rainy, but let's try to liven things up here with a contest entry. And this is for Rod, the Hippy The Vinyl Guy, and he's calling it March Madness, hashtag another flippin' contest. He said he's just doing it for the heck of it. And the rules are basically to show at least 5 solo artists and then show 5 records of bands they were in. So like the Rolling Stones, you can only use 1 members as a solo artist and then show the Rolling Stones. I mean, you could show a different band that they may have been in and show another artist, but and he wants you to have a physical copy of each one. So you get, for 5 entries, you get 1 entry or 1 name going into the hat, and then for 10, you get another one, and for 15, you'll get 3, which I am doing 15. So let's just get started right now. First person I'm going to show is my favorite artist of all time, an underrated album and into the music, and this Van Morrison. And Van was earlier in a band called Them. This is their album, The Angry Young Them. And I got my glasses on, I can't remember. And Them were more R&B and blues oriented rock, and this has their big hit Gloria on it. So that's the first one. Second is Ranking Roger. I just didn't take the plastic off that, but Ranking Roger, and he was in the group as a toaster and singer for the English Beat, or if you're in the UK, just the Beat. And this is their album, I Just Can't Stop It. Wonderful, Mirror on the Bathroom, a lot of great songs. Do a remake of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Tears of a Clown. Next is Bob Welch. This is his album Man Overboard. It got some airplay. And of course, he was in the group Fleetwood Mac. This is one of the albums he was on. I think that's Bob right there. And Heroes Are Hard to Find. Really good album. And I think the years that Bob Welch was in Fleetwood Mac are kind of underrated. But Bob Welch and Fleetwood Mac. Next, we have Roger Daltrey and Under a Raging Moon. The song After the Fire was a really good one. I kind of think Pete Townsend wrote that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And he was, of course, in who I consider the best rock group of all time, The Who. And this is Who's Next, maybe one of the best rock albums of all time. Next, I have kind of an alternative country rock artist, and Maria McKee. There she is. Her album, You Gotta Sin to Get Saved. And she was also in the band Lone Justice, that had a few albums released. And I've had their first 2. I'm not sure if they have more than that or not. But this one had Don't Toss Us Away, which is a minor hit. Okay, next I have wonderful kind of folk country rock artist Peter Case. And this album has the great Walk in the Woods. That's an unbelievably good song. But also does, if I can find it on here, A Pair of Brown Eyes, which I think is also on one of the Clash albums. And he was in the kind of new wave-ish group, power pop, the Plimsouls, before he kind of went more alternative country, our folk. And that's Peter Case and the Plimsouls. Next we have great rock singer John Kay. a solo album here. And then, of course, he was in the group Steppenwolf. Magic Carpet Ride is on this one, their album, The Second. And I think that's him right there. John Kay and Steppenwolf. And then we have a kind of unique singer-songwriter, Bob Walkenhorst. This is a solo album. You say, who's Bob Walkenhorst? He was in the group The Rainmakers. This is their second album called Tornado. Their first album got some airplay on MTV with Let My People Go Go and Downstream. But yeah, this is their second album, and there's Bob right there, Bob Walkenhorst. So next I have kind of a soulful pop artist in Alison Moyet and her album Alf. And before that, she was in the group, the synth pop group Yaz, or if you were in the UK, Yazoo. And this is upstairs at Eric's that had the wonderful Only You and Don't Go, which were hits in the 80s. When this album came out in 1982. And next is Graham Edge. And I had not a roommate, somebody in the same dorm I was a few doors down that I became friends with. He played the heck out of this album with Graham Edge. And it does sound a lot like his former band, which is the Moody Blues. And this is their album In Search of the Lost Chord, which has the hit, where is it? Legend of a Mind. Oh, Ride My Seesaw is probably the biggest hit off here. The Moody Blues. Next I have a wonderful bluegrass, country rock. He could really great player, songwriter, and that's Chris Hillman. This is a solo album, still got the plastic on this one. And he was in several bands, but I'm going to pick the Flying Burrito Brothers. And there's on the back. The album Burrito Deluxe, which was a wonderful album as well. Not quite as good as The Gilded Palace of Sin, our first one. And then next is the wonderful pop artist Nick Lowe, also a wonderful producer. This one got quite a bit of airplay with Cruel to Be Kind and Switchboard Susan, two great pop hits. And he was formerly in the band Brimsley Schwartz, named after the guitarist. And there's Nick in his younger days, Nick Lowe. Next up is one of my favorite solo projects. This is by Phil Alvin, called Unsung Stories. He took a lot of old-time traditional songs and kind of rocked and jazzed them up with Sun Ra and the Dirty Dozen Brass Band. And this is just a fantastic album. I recommend this to anybody that enjoys music. Phil Alvin, Unsung Stories. And Phil Alvin is formerly the lead singer of the Blasters. I guess he's still the lead singer if they ever get back together. They've done a few albums. They've got some reunion shows they've done, but along with Dave Alvin, his brother. But it's the Blasters, and there's Phil Alvin right there. There's Dave Alvin right there. And next up, we've got Paul Carrick, wonderful singer. Lesson in Love is a really great song off this solo album by Paul Carrick. But he was formerly in the band Ace, who had the song How Long Has This Been Going On? And there's Paul right there. And the next artist is someone I can almost guarantee no one else is going to show. And that is Mark Ballou. This is his album, First One Free. And he was in a band that kind of took rock and bluegrass and country, and if you threw them all together, you'd be a group called Big Smith. And this is their album, the second album, Big Rock, which is a wonderful album. And there's Mark right there. Anyway, that's my entry into the contest. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope everyone's doing well. Thanks, Rod, and everyone take care.